All right, so here we go. We've got a typical older type construction residential deck. Let's just get some wide angle shots here first. So a few important things to note here. So it does have diagonal bracing. Thing is, you only want that on your outside corners. If you put it on these inside posts, it can lead to some unbalanced loads and actually cause some breakage at these posts and at the rim joists. But let me show you why they did that. So I thought at first, when I first walked up, it might have just been wobbly, but what it is they've only got a single rim joist out here, and it's supporting probably 12 to 13 feet of floor joist. So from back in the yard a little bit, you can see that the span between the posts had some bowing. And let's get under the deck here. So some of the low-hanging fruit I always call out would be these the post and rail connections. So I'm going to write this up as being weak and insufficient for support because it's got a notched 4x4 post. They do have a brace inside here, which is great, but it's missing all the hardware. The reason you don't want a notched 4x4 post for your line post is if somebody falls against the rail up at the top, that's supposed to be able to withstand 200 pounds of force being swung from 4 feet back. When it hits that rail is not supposed to deflect more than 2 inches. And testing shows that those rails just snap off here at the notch joint at the bottom. All right, on to the ledger. So we are missing our ledger flashing all the way down through here. So this is attached to the wood foundation on this corner, but then over here, it's over a framed section of the house. So we're missing an inside corner bracket right here. So it does have some ledger fastening, but that's not enough. So the spacing is supposed to be 2 inches in from the end, and it's supposed to be in the top third and bottom third of the ledger board. And then our hangers are missing proper fasteners. Those look like roofing nails. The head will pop off of a roofing nail with as little as 70 pounds of force. The proper joist hanger, those will hold 600 pounds apiece. Joist hanger nail, that is. And then in the shear position, right here on the bracket, those are supposed to be a 3-inch long nail, and those roofing nails are probably only 1.5 inches, and they're going left to right. All right, let's get a little further down this way. So there it switches from Dynabolts that are put into the concrete. Over here we've got 2 bigger lag type, or carriage type bolts that are installed through the ledger, and then the rest of it's just nailed on. And then, like I said, you're missing your ledger flashing here. The spacing's pretty wide. We're probably around 20 inches on these floor joist, and with them only being 2x8s, that's kind of at the span limit on that. The good thing is it's got full 2x6 deck boards, so that helps a little bit spread the load out. Again, on this end, we're missing an inside corner bracket. The stairs we'll get to in a minute. So let's look at the post as well. So again, kind of old school. They set the post right in the dirt, which it is allowed if it is if the post is actually treated to be in ground contact, and not all of them are. Older ones were. They used a different type of chemical in the post. The new ones, the copper alkyd quat, it's generally, you're only going to see that on a 6x6 or larger. So then on the deck post, modern standards, you really want to see a 14-inch diameter minimum footing under here that would be on a post bracket standoff. So that raises the wood post at least 1 inch up off of the concrete base. And that just keeps water capillary action from wicking water up into the bottom of the post. All right, on the stairs, so we're missing all our spindles. And then on the stringers, so the outside stringers are okay. The inside stringer, they cut from too small of lumber, so what's left here at the notch is less than the dimensions that we need. And then the connection up here at the top, you see some guys that do that, they'll set that on the ledger board. That's better if they actually make metal stair stringer strap hardware that goes on there that's made for that. Again, at the bottom, we have no concrete landing. So the deck stairs, I don't know if I can push it too much. They're just setting in the dirt down here at the bottom. That post doesn't even go all the way down. You can see they put that terrible little bracket on it. Okay, this way, so we do have a riser. It's open at the bottom so that you can sweep snow and leaves through it. And then we are missing a graspable handrail. So the handrails that they have here are 2x6. That's too wide. Older people, little kids aren't able to get a hold of that. So again, you'll want a graspable handrail on the mounted to some stair brackets on the inside. You still have to watch out so that there's enough width inside here. You're supposed to have at least 36 inches on these stairs. A lot of times it doesn't happen, but at least a graspable handrail would be better. So another thing, I always walk around and look at the underside of the deck before I get on these. I know a couple of realtors in Columbia that walked out on decks on new constructions, not realizing that they were just temporarily supported, and then the deck collapsed when they were on the deck with clients. Fortunately, nobody got hurt, seriously anyway. All right, and then same thing on all the joist hanger hardware over here. None of the proper fasteners. And then also when you're under here, be looking for some white fungal growth on these. Most of this looks like algae. There is a lot of snow up top, so we're not going to be able to see much up there. But always keep an eye out for that. Looks like a couple of boards been replaced here. Let's see. Let's go up top and see what we have going on. So here's another one. We have a window in the stairwell opening. Even if it had spindles, that window would need to be tempered glass. So I checked that earlier. There's no tempered markings on that sash. All right, so here's what we got going on. Even though we can see most of the deck, I'm still going to put in the report that not everything was visible. So always put your disclosures in there. Disclaimers, anything like that, and say if you can't see it, say that you couldn't see it. That'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. And then that one's fairly sturdy. We do have a little rot here at the corner posts. So that one, pretty weak. I know a couple of guys that used to check these line posts. They would kind of take their hip and check that, like they just bump into it like that. One of them though has a nice metal plate in his leg now. Bumped one of those, fell about 10 feet down to the concrete, broke his femur. Not real pleasant. So this, where they've got the J channel around the post where it meets the house, that's really going to need to have caulking around it. Again, we want to look for any rot that we could maybe see starting here at since it's missing that ledger flashing. Leaves, stuff like that, just kick them out of the way. I know guys that won't even do that, but do yourself a favor. You're working for your client. Try to do as much as you can. And then looks like we've got some soft joints there. All right, so one more thing over here. So it looks like they used to have a little connection there. It's smaller than 4 inches, so wouldn't be technically we've got to call it out, but might at least take a picture of it so you've got a note in case somebody calls you about it later. All right, guys, if you got any questions, let me know.